Good afternoon, everybody. Thank you so much for being here. What a great occasion to celebrate the 100th anniversary of Paxton Cabin. At this time, if we could have your attention, I would like to welcome Scoutmaster of Troop 1, Garrett Hay.
Thank you. Check 1, 2. Thank you all for coming to the 100th anniversary of the Paxton Cabin. It's great to see so many old faces, new faces. This place means so much to us in the scouting community, especially myself in Troop 1. I want to introduce my committee chairman, Mr. Gerwell, Mr. Kyle Gerwell. Give him a round of applause as well. Come on over, Kyle. We both just wanted to greet you all again. Thank you for coming. 107 years this troop has been in existence. We'll go and enter into our 108th year coming in 2025. And you think, oh man, this troop, it's so old and it's so much history. But then we have this unique building to the right of us here, this Russ Paxton cabin. To have a dedicated scout house that is an actual authentic log cabin, the poles donated by the telephone company and built in 1924 and specifically dedicated and used for Troop 1 is quite a unique phenomenon. We're incredibly proud of that. So Mr. Gerwell is gonna say hi to you guys, and thank you all for coming again.
So as Mr. Hay introduced, I'm Kyle Gerwell. I'm the committee chair of Troop 1, and the committee's chair job is to organize the scouters, the adults involved in the scouting program here. And I'm also a longtime resident of Huntington Beach. I grew up here in Orange County, went to Dwyer, Smith, Huntington Beach High School. And this cabin is probably the #1 reason my sons and I are here at Troop 1 Huntington Beach, coming down to Lake Park from the schools and, hey, what's this? This cabin is wonderful. And when we came from the pack, the younger level of scouting, to the troop, the high school level of scouting, I think this cabin was probably the #1 draw. My son Marcus could tell you different. Along with that, my first job was right here at the clubhouse. I worked for the YMCA, worked summer camp, and again, drawn back to the cabin. So it's nice to come full circle to where this was such a beautiful structure in the city, structure in my life, and coming back around to being a part of the troop, being inside it, helping it grow, leading now, but understanding that I'm just one link in a long chain that's now a century old and looks like it'll continue for a long time. So I'd like to thank Garrett very much for putting this all together. Mr. Hay's done a wonderful job. And I want to thank each and every one of you for being here. It wouldn't be a chain unless we were linked together. And thank you all for being a part of this program, a part of this event, a part of the community. Thank you all.
Thanks, Kyle. Well said. You know, Kyle went into a little bit of the history. I have a little bit of history with Troop 1, not too much. My dad is an Eagle Scout with Troop 280 out of Westminster, along with his 2 brothers. And he joined Troop 1 with my oldest brother, Robert, in about 1991 or so. Robert became Eagle Scout. My brother, Brandon, who's a couple years older than me, got Eagle, was senior patrol leader. And he was also my scoutmaster during that time and the committee chairman of Troop 1. I ended up getting Eagle in 2001. I've seen some friends from the past today. It's been amazing to see you all. And then I came back into the troop around 2019 or so. When you re-enter the troop, you're not thinking, oh, I'm going to be scoutmaster, going to continue the legacy or any of that. You're just joining scouts and hoping to have a great time. But I was fortunate enough to be asked by our past scoutmaster, Mr. Gordon McPherson, to take over the helm. And when you see a need, you should fill a need. But it's been an amazing couple of first 6 months. You know, I've just started, and it's going great. The troop's running well. It's as strong as ever, and it's thanks to the members of the community, especially Huntington Beach, but obviously the county and the district and everybody that supports Troop 1 is the reason why we are actually doing as well as we are. But with that being said, we have a few special guests that have come in attendance today. First one I'm going to introduce is the mayor of Huntington Beach. Give a round of applause for Gracie Vandermark.
Thank you all for coming and for having me on this special occasion, the 100th anniversary of our cabin. This cabin is one of the last few true standing scout houses, and Troop 1 has done an amazing job maintaining it. And on behalf of the City of Huntington Beach, we'd like to congratulate you on this monumental 100th anniversary and present you with this certificate. I don't think I'll be here for the 200th year, but I'm sure the cabin will still be here because you all are doing an amazing job, and the City of Huntington Beach is very proud of you. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor Vandermark. Much appreciated. Always great to have you. Our next guest is Senator Janet Nguyen.
Good morning. Really? You're Eagle Scouts. Good morning.
Good morning.
There you go. So originally I wasn't scheduled to come here today. But this is what happens when you're married to an Eagle Scout. I get a text from my husband yesterday and go, with an article from the Register say, "Are you going to this?" And I said, well, let me check my calendar. No, I'm not on schedule. I really think you should. I go, okay, honey. And then I get a call from the mayor. And the mayor's like, "Are you going to this?" I'm like, why is everybody asking me about this one event? So for the young Scouters, when you become an Eagle Scout, you can tell what a senator do. Just know that. But no, it's an honor for me to be here because, knowing my husband, what he's went through to be an Eagle Scout, not in California, in the East Coast, but this scouting is where we build patriotism, duty, and service. And that's what you are. And we are so proud of you, and we're so proud and honored to be here to honor this 100 years of this cabin. I didn't know the cabin still exists. But no, if you haven't been inside this cabin, it is something that is a landmark, something that I hope we in the state and the federal side can actually make it into a historical landmark officially. Because a lot of things has happened in this building that we won't talk about. But also, though, it has built so many characters and so many individuals to where we are today that has served our community, but not just Huntington Beach, but across the nation. And so this is where we want to make sure we thank you. And we want to thank the Lions Club here as well for providing the volunteer service and also for the breakfast. Can you give them a big round of applause? So at this time, on behalf of the California State Senate, upon the occasion of your 100th anniversary, I want to thank you for your commitment to our community and for your stewardship of this Huntington Beach historical landmark. Thank you.
Now, our next speaker, I'm very proud to have him here. About 10 years ago, my dad came back into scouting. Dan Hay, he was scoutmaster, as I mentioned, of Troop 1. He decided to get back into scouting, work for the council, and then just stopped his tenure as Orange County Council chairman of the board. Now, for some of you who don't know, obviously BSA is a national program. It's a worldwide program, but we are all one big family. And we have, like anything, it's sort of compartmentalized. There's a district that we belong to, the cities in our area and all the troops, right? And then there's actually a council that runs the districts and all of the troops in that council. And we have what is called the Orange County Council. And the chief executive scout is the head scout in charge of the Orange County Council. He comes right from the BSA national office. And I'm super happy to have him here. Please welcome Mr. Russell Essenhauser.
Thank you, Garrett. It's really my pleasure to be here, first and foremost, to congratulate Troop 1 and the citizens of Huntington Beach. All of the scouts around Orange County are proud of the achievement that Troop 1 has met. Troop 1 is our oldest troop, as well as Troop 1 is one of our larger troops. We're fortunate to have the cabin. I think it is an awesome thing that helps us to grow. And really, everything that Troop 1 does helps prepare young people to be leaders. Dan Hay, Mr. Hay, as an Eagle Scout from Orange County Council. Actually, when he served as our chairman, he was the first Orange County Eagle Scout to serve as the chairman of the board of Orange County Council. And that's quite an achievement. We're very proud to have had Dan as our leader. And as things tend to go around, also, this Mr. Hay, as he stepped into the role of Scoutmaster of Troop 1, is one of a very small, exclusive number of Troop 1 Eagle Scouts who have served as Scoutmaster of Troop 1. And I think that's also very notable as we see how people give back. For our Scouts here, the thing I want you to go away from today remembering is that Scouting really is a way of life. It is a way that you will carry yourself as an adult, as a leader, and as a person who makes a difference in the community. And you do that by stepping up and making things happen. And so as you go through your scouting career here, first and foremost, your job is to have fun. But secondly, as you graduate through scouting, hopefully each one of you becomes an Eagle Scout. When you go forward, you also have a responsibility to remember to give back to scouting, because you will find as you grow older, as I have, I'm an Eagle Scout from a long time ago, scouting has given so much to me, and that has really made me want to continue to give back to scouting. So I challenge all of you young scouts here today to remember, as you grow older and become an adult, don't forget what scouting has done for you and continue to give back to scouting. And we can all remember this 100-year-old cabin, and it won't be long until you may be back here celebrating the 125th or the 150th anniversary of this great scouting landmark here in Huntington Beach. Thank you all very much.
Thank you, Mr. Essenhauser. Fantastic. Now, I want to bring up, before I speak on a few more notes, I want to bring up somebody that I can say honestly gets a lot of the credit that I owe for today. And I can admit when, things slip by, we were so sort of enthralled with celebrating the troop centennial in 2017 that, the cabin's it's our cabin. So we always think of it as just being our cabin. And it wasn't until this gentleman approached me from the city of Huntington Beach and mentioned to us that, hey, there's a Huntington Beach Jubilee this year. There's a lot of different landmarks as far as how old buildings are. I believe City Hall's turning 50, Central Park 75 years old and all that. But guess what, Garrett? The cabin's headlining that. It's the oldest building for the Jubilee. So I'd like to welcome up the Cities and Facilities Manager for the City of Huntington Beach. He's also the committee chairman for Troop 274, Chris Cole. Get up here, Chris.
Thank you, Garrett. It's a great honor to be here today. I was a former member of Troop 1 years ago, and as Garrett had said, I'm now the committee chair for Troop 274. 274 in the house. Uh-oh. Troop 1, you going to put up with that? Let's hear you, Troop 1. Troop 1! There it is. You should see this troop at Camporee. This is kind of a fun thing that we're doing, because when we compete against each other at Camporees, there's a lot of scout spirit and a lot of fun stuff that goes on. So, but I also brought my scouts here today because I want them to see what Troop 1 does and how they operate, because it's such a well-oiled machine. It defines perfection in the scouting business, if you could call it that. So very impressive what they do, and I think there's a lot that our scouts, I think all scout troops can learn what you guys do. So something that was kind of funny, earlier today, Dan and I were talking about, we were getting ready. I said, well, Dan, I don't know. Should I wear a Troop 1 shirt or should I wear a Troop 274 shirt? Because I still have my Troop 1 shirt, and because I'm so proud of it as being in Troop 1.
He's right there.
Oh, sorry.
We worked
Garrett.
together a lot.
Yeah. So thinking about it, there's two things, right? I mean, in the scout law, a scout is trustworthy and a scout is loyal. And so I decided I had to be loyal to my troop, so I wore my Troop 274 shirt. So I know this is going to really get payback when it comes down to Camporee, but I am committee chair of 274, so I'll stay true to them. But thanks everyone for coming. This is such a special occasion. The city is so proud of this building, and we're so thankful that you take care of it so well. And I know you will for the next, as the mayor had said, for the next generations to come. So thank you so much.
Thanks, Chris. Appreciate it. Thanks again, Chris. Yeah, it wouldn't happen without him. He really reminded us, and we had a lot of great meetings and had a lot of really great ideas thrown around. I want one more round of applause for the Lions Club. Thank you so much, guys, for coming out and helping us. There's so much history. I'm going to speak briefly about the history of the cabin. Obviously, it was erected in 1924. I think the ribbon cutting was actually April 4th. This was the best day we could have the event, but to have it in the same month even is amazing with the way schedules work. And it was erected specifically for Troop 1. It was actually supposed to be in a different area, but they felt that Lake Park would be the best place for it. And then in the late 30s, the clubhouse came, and these two buildings have been synonymous. And you would never think in a Surf City, USA, a downtown sort of beach area, that you'd find a Boy Scout cabin in the middle of a park. But it is here, and it's an amazing facility. Also, once World War II came around, it was common. These two buildings were commandeered by the U.S. military immediately. The city and the Scouts turned the building over. It was mainly used for some logistical situations, but also kind of a leisure area. Like they could come back and from certain deployments, or if just to relax and have some little bit of reprieve from the war effort. Then for years, it just kind of like a timeline, like an episode of the Wonder Years. It just kept going and going and going, and the scouting community was here to support it, and so was the city. In '68, it was almost condemned because after the war, there wasn't a lot of repairs, and some years had gone by. But the Bureau of Veteran Affairs and the Scouts rebuilt the cabin and renovated it, and then submitted those plans to the city in order to save it. So in 1968, if things had gone a lot differently, we might not be standing here today. And it's the effort of the Scouts and the Veterans Affair and the people in the community that wanted to see the cabin stay put. And then from then on, the rest is history. The cabin has been used as a scout house ever since. We obviously named it after our great scout patron, Mr. Russ Paxson. Round of applause, I can't say enough about him. Eagle Scout in 1939, he served as Scoutmaster 2 different times, and he ended up serving the troop for 80 plus years. I mean, it's just amazing. He deserves in every way to have this cabin named after him. I got to truly, as many of you did here, hang out with Mr. Paxson and Mr. Alvarez in their heyday, where they really could teach us everything. I know as he got a little bit older, it got a little tougher, but I cherish those memories. And Mr. Paxson passed away during the pandemic, and as you all know, it was very difficult to get people together and have celebrations, and rightfully so. But all I want to say is I hope that maybe this is some form of that, and he's proud of us today. So, Mr. Paxson, this one's for you.
Now, this is a great country we live in, but that greatness depends for the most part on the character of her citizens. Now you can help make her future even greater. I charge you to undertake your citizenship with a solemn dedication. Be a leader, but lead only toward the best.
In the spirit of that, we are trying to renovate the cabin. I mean, we've got some roof repairs, some things that need to be done, nothing too crazy. We are trying to raise some money, and I know any of you that have donated today, I want to say thank you on behalf of myself and Mr. Gerwell and the troop itself. You can still go over to the check-in booth and talk to me about anything you need to. From this moment on, it's fully open house. Please enjoy the cabin. This was actually a strategy. What I wanted to do was have you guys just engorge yourselves and fatten yourselves up so you walk slower through there. That was the point of the whole thing. But thank you again for coming, you guys, and have a great rest of the day. And happy 100th anniversary to that beautiful cabin.